Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is the AEW Dynamite review for July 22nd, 2020. So I'm joined by Abhishekh Aneja, aka Abby Maniac. What's up, Abby?
I am fine, Suprit, and hello to the listeners. In your opinion, how was Dynamite tonight?
Um, so it's been 3 weeks since we have been getting pay-per-view special Dynamite. So this Dynamite felt a little different. It was a decent show. I think as the weeks go by and they start building up for the all-out pay-per-view, then we can expect the quality of the show to go up.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I was only saying with regards to the show, I enjoyed the show,
Mhm.
and as you pointed out that the last three shows were specials, and this was the regular AEW Dynamite for 22nd of July 2020, and this was also a good show. And now we are seeing that the next stop is All Out, and
Mm.
we are gonna see that which matches are gonna be on the marquee.
So in this edition of Dynamite, we had Cody defending the TNT Championship against Eddie Kingston, MJF versus Griff Garrison, Young Bucks versus Butcher and Blade in a Falls Count Anywhere match. We had the debut of Diamante and Ivelisse, so they had a match. Alan Pie Angels versus Hangman Page, and the main event was Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. We here in Slam Up Wrestling cover all pro wrestling related stuff, including reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and New Japan as well. So, show kicks off with the TNT Championship match. Cody was already in the ring, and out comes Eddie Kingston. So he was already in shoot mode. He basically said Cody is a bullshit artist. Meanwhile, he had to fight for everything. He calls Arn Anderson a quote unquote used to be a legend and also threatened him several times. He said Tony Khan paid him for coming here and now he's gonna pay him back by kicking Cody's ass. He said Tony Khan also allowed him to have a no DQ match unless Cody accepts. So finally, Cody accepts and Kingston attacks Cody before the bell even rings. Action spills to the floor. Both men were exchanging chops and strikes. Back in the ring, Cody hits the disaster kick. At one point, Kingston was using Cody's own weight belt against him. Kingston exposed the mats on the floor, but it backfired as Kingston was slammed on the cement floor. Kingston was in control now as he went in pure wrestling mode. Cody made a comeback, also targeting the injured knee of Kingston until Cody got low blowed. Kingston then brought a sack out of the ring, which contained thumbtacks in it. Cody then starts fighting back, tried for the vertebreaker on the tags. Kingston escapes and power bombs to the tags. Both men were exchanging strikes until Cody goes for the knees, locks in the figure four to get a submission victory, and that was it. The match was good, but Cody making a comeback after the thumbtack spot was a little weird. The promo by Kingston was great, and it also made sense. What about you?
Yes, I agree with regards to the promo. He is a great person on the mic, Eddie Kingston. We know that if you people are following him on the independent circuit and on NWA Power, which streams on YouTube, and even in Impact Wrestling, when he was the recently he was the manager of the OG LAX. He is good on the mic, and being good on the mic is a great skill which is essential for selling tickets, for getting people in the seats in the show, and such people are necessary for your show, for your roster to have in your team. So Eddie Kingston is a great talent, and I also mentioned him that he also answered the call on you on Twitter. Beg your pardon, with regards to the TNT Championship, and lo and behold, we have him, and it is great to see him. And this match felt like a fight. It didn't look
Yes.
like a dance sequence, like a Young Bucks match or like a Spot Fest. It didn't look like that. It looked like a legit. It is happening. It's a fight. It is a fight for Eddie Kingston, a gray collar guy who is here to fight. Who is basically, maybe he's broke and he wants the championship. He wants the money to take care of his mother. If you are following him on social media, you know that where he lives and in which conditions he lives. You might be knowing him and you would be connected with his story. And with regards to his promo, he said what he had to say to connect with the audience. You have to maximize your minutes. You have to make people invested, and that is what he did with regards to his promo. That if you are a new guy in a new company and you are there, why would people care? He said the words which needed to be said to make people care. He did a great job with that, and he is great with his promos. Uh, that's the basic point. And the other thing, Excalibur said that he is a 18-year veteran. He has performed in Impact Wrestling recently, as I said just now, that as the manager of the OG LAX against the new generation LAX, that is Santana and Ortiz, which are a part of Inner Circle. The match had stiff action. It looked like a fight between the two competitors, and JR called the tope suicida tonight
Yes.
in great perfection. That
Yes.
that was amazing. Maybe there was something in the air tonight, and
Yep.
Kingston sold his wrestling boots to pay his mortgage in this lockdown. Excalibur said that point. It also makes people care. It makes people care that they want Kingston to win. They want him to get the strap of Cody. And he was favoring the knee, which was attacked. Eddie Kingston, his selling was great with regards to his knee. And
Mm.
Kingston was targeting the eyes, as this was a no disqualification match. He was targeting the eyes. He was gouging the eyes multiple times of Cody Rhodes. He even low blowed at one point, and Cody was targeting the left knee, obviously, for his submission. That could have been the figure four leg lock, or it could have been the Indian death lock, which he was using in his independent days when he was at Ring of Honor and the other companies. And we thought when he brought out the sack, which you pointed out, that it might be the Mad Ball, which he used at Impact Wrestling in his feud with LAX, but it had thumbtacks. Seeing thumbtacks is a big thing, that something can happen if you are you know what has happened in the past in the Attitude Era with Mick Foley and other people. Thumbtacks mean something. It can Something can happen. And with regards to your point that kicking out after the thumbtack spot, uh, I guess that maybe points out to the resilience of Cody Rhodes. They were pointing out to the resilience of Cody Rhodes with regards to that this is our champion. He has the heart, he has the determination, and he never backs down. He has the heart of a Rhodes, that he can bleed, he can suffer, he can get as many of the offense as he wants, but he will come back. That could be the point that they were trying to portray with Cody Rhodes, and Kingston power bombed Cody Rhodes on the tags, and the trash talk in the midst of the bout was great. That also adds to the story. That also makes people invested. That in the midst of the fight, you are trash talking one another, you are saying things to one another, you are getting into the head of the other person. That also makes it real. That makes it real. It adds to the intensity and the story of the bout. It was a great match, in my opinion. It was a great match, a great fight with a match that you can expect on television. It was beyond levels that on AEW television, one of the better matches we have seen. One of the better matches which don't look like a dance sequence, which don't look like a spot fest, which look like a fight. At the end, Cody Rhodes won with the figure four leg lock, not the Indian death lock.
So after that, we had a small little promo segment
And
by John Moxley.
one more thing.
Go on.
Sorry to interrupt. We didn't see Cody Rhodes showing any of his antagonist persona like last week. No mention of the four horsemen, no mention, no build up to the four horsemen in sight tonight.
Yeah,
There
it
was
makes
nothing.
sense because teasing it every week, it will be a little predictable. So those small teases here and there will be good
Mhm.
because when it finally happens, when Cody finally turns heel or something, then that moment will be epic.
That will get a
Sa-
big pop.
Yes.
And
Same goes
mhm,
for Kenny Omega. He can't be teasing. He'll be returning to the cleaner gimmick every week. So
mhm. Yes. We are very used to, maybe I guess, the WWE style of storytelling.
yeah.
That in that we see the build up almost every week that something is happening.
Mhm.
So that could be the reason that why it looked odd, maybe, I guess, that there was nothing this week with regards to the four horsemen, and maybe. Okay. Next segment. You were saying.
A promo segment by John Moxley. He said he lived up to the promise of trying to rip off Brian Cage's arm. He gives props to Taz for the way he saved Cage last week. Also called him the manager of the year. He warns Cage next time he has him in a submission, he won't let go. Next match was MJF versus Griff Garrison. Pre-match promo by MJF. MJF makes fun of Garrison, calls him Jungle Man. Um, he also made fun of his nickname, the Ivy League MVP. He says he looks like someone who couldn't even graduate finger painting class. MJF asked him, how does it feel to stand in a ring with an undefeated wrestler like him? Garrison shoots back and mentions that he lost in a tag team match at Fighter Fest. MJF, in return, swings the mic, taking out Garrison. So this was a mostly one-sided match. At one point, MJF got on the mic and said that they both started on the wrong footing. MJF said he got upset by Garrison's comments and forced him to explain the audience that he's undefeated. Garrison wasn't interested until MJF continued his attack and Garrison finally said it. MJ was proud at what he did, and this allowed Garrison to go for a roll up pin, and this only got a 2 count. MJF with a clothesline hits the Heat Seeker pile driver for a win, and that was it. I think MJF is being set up to face John Moxley at All Out because that's the only logical thing that they can do at the current time. What do you think?
Mhm. Uh, that could be the thing, but with regards to Moxley's promo, it felt like maybe there is a rematch on the horizon with regards to Cage and Moxley. Uh, it is just speculation at this point. MJF, yes, MJF and Moxley will happen, and uh, it is a very, you can say, minuscule chance that MJF would be losing, and it is just speculation at this point that what is being marketed as the main event with regards to the AEW World Championship at All Out. Is it MJF or is it Brian Cage? Who is it gonna be? Or are they going for another some type of bout with regards to MJF and Jungle Boy because they pushed Griff Garrison, who they have insinuated that he looks like Jungle Boy, and
Yep.
they are furthering his feud, MJF and Jungle Boy. So they are furthering their feud on the side. Right now, it's just speculation. So, with regards to this match, which happened, Griff Garrison, uh, basically, who the fuck is Griff Garrison? That was said by Colt Cabana on Being the Elite, the funniest show on YouTube. Wink, wink. Rubbed MJF's loss in tag team action, and uh, be with it was basically a response to MJF being a bully, and he didn't take it too lightly, and he went for a mic shot. We haven't seen that in quite a while. That the mic hurts quite bad. It can be used as a weapon. That brings a smile to my face because uh, mic was also a weapon in the video games we had. WWF SmackDown, WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, and the other video games we had. And Griff Garrison has competed on AEW Dark. And after the break, after the commercial break, it looked like an I Quit match. Basically, uh, it was one sided, as you said. MJF was on the offense, he was on the upside, and he was taking full advantage of the offense and the position he was in. And there was a new finisher which MJF used. It was a little jumping variation of Sammy Callahan's finisher, the cactus special, and draping from the ropes. It is
It's
good.
not a new. It's not a new finisher. He has been using that since his days in MLW.
All right. For me, it was new then. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, go on,
So,
continue.
no, that's it. And Slammiversary was great.
Oh yeah, yeah. I couldn't enjoy Slammiversary like you do because I've told you this before. The crowd element.
Yes. Uh, it. it irks many people. Uh, what it is that uh, the companies have to, be different. That could be the reason, or I don't know. But with regards to the action, what happened in the ring, that was great. With regards to Slammiversary, they are not doing what WWE or AEW are doing with regards to the crowd, having the people from the roster at ringside. But whatever happened in the ring, except the knockouts gauntlet, that was brilliant, in my opinion.
Hope they can maintain this buzz and quality for the next 2, 3, 5, 6 months or the next 2, 3 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, Back to Dynamite. The human mic stand, Tony Schiavone, he tried to interview Reba. She tried to explain. She tried to explain that her real name is Rebel. So Britt Baker, who was in the other locker room, screamed for Reba. Baker ordered Shivani to turn the wheelchair towards the camera. Then she starts explaining the rules of the role model. Uh, Also brings up the situation with a broken nose. She calls herself the Michael Jordan and said not to count her out, especially when she'll be making her return at all out.
Yes. So, who will be her opponent? You have said that she might be gunning for the championship, or
Yeah.
she might. Uh, you were saying?
Yeah, I said I think she's gonna complete the feud with Big Swole. Then there is a
Hmm.
possibility that she goes for Shida at All Out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I also think so. First, it is going to be Swole, and how that comes about, that is a big question. Either they are booking a multi-woman match at All Out, or they have something else in place with regards to Big Swole and the Dr. Baker DMD. We have to say that. We have to say that I am very scared of that woman. She has
Why?
a person because her boyfriend is at NXT, and both and he is going to the main roster. They the two powerful people in two different companies. They have very much of the leverage on the wrestling world. They can do anything. And I am working in the wrestling industry. Maybe I won't be anywhere else if I say anything bad about them. I am a big fan of Adam Cole. Even if people say that he needs to get thin, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He is a good chubby boy. He's a great
Yes,
person. Super cake, super cake, super cake. I am very fond of the Spot Fest, which Adam Cole is in. I am a big
yes.
fan. And he is not dead. He is not dead. I am contrary to the theory of the Young Bucks and the people at being the elite. I think that Adam Cole is alive.
Don't worry, he'll be. The doctor will be joined by Bebe in AEW in the next. I don't know. Come next January.
It could happen, but if they are in different companies, they have leverage. They can, draw big and better salaries from two different companies. When they will be in one company, that could, you can say, lessen their leverage. When they are in two
See,
different companies, they can, get better salaries. They can say that I can go there. I can go to the other company where my wife or my boyfriend or whatever their relationship is right now is working. So they can draw better money from the pocket of Vince McMahon or Triple H or whoever is in charge and
Yes,
enjoy a better standard of living.
I think I think it depends on Vince McMahon. If he doesn't see the next Shawn Michaels in him, then he's gonna be chasing the 24/7 championship.
uh, Whatever. Maybe.
So
WWE creative, we have talked about it.
yes,
There is a reason why we are not reviewing right now WWE, and there is a reason that why I am not watching WWE for the past many weeks. Even Extreme Rules, anything WWE.
yes.
They are not doing it, and now they are at the uh, at the point that they are now ending the brand split. There was a report. What the fuck is happening there?
Back to Dynamite.
Absolutely.
Brian Cage and Taz come out for a promo segment. Taz said he and Cage had a lot of discussion regarding last week's match. Cage was pretty close firing Taz, but cooler heads prevailed. He explained that he threw in the towel because Moxley had a very tight armbar and he didn't want Cage to re-injure his bicep and have a second surgery. He said last week's situation won't happen again. He starts putting over Cage and his toughness and explains why he is the FTW champion. Darby Allin interrupts, and before he even enters the ring, he gets blasted by Ricky Starks. Cage went after Allen, powerbomb to the apron. He then powerbombs him inside the ring. Starks then hits a Gonzo bomb it looked like a Gonzo bomb. Cage then tried to use this skateboard on Allen until John Moxley made the save. He had the barbed wire bat in his hand, and that was it. So, as a result of this, we are getting a tornado tag team match next week on Dynamite. Starks and Cage and Starks versus Allen and Moxley.
Yes, this is good. This is great. Then finally, we are seeing that Ricky Starks is also having something to sink his teeth into on AEW Dynamite on television. That he is a great talent. He has come forth from NWA Power. He was the television champion there. He lost to Ziki Dice, and the fact that he is such a great talent at such a age, he has earned that spot, and it is great that he has aligned with the likes of Brian Cage and Taz. And it was also told when Brian Cage and uh, Taz were entering the ring that Brian Cage and Starks attacked Darby Allin last night on AW Dark.
Yes, yes, yes.
Allin, uh, Allin attacked Cage basically to seek retribution last week for what Cage did to him, that was putting him on the shelf. That happened last week. Starks interrupted this week the proceedings with Darby Allin and Brian Cage, as you just went through with the point that with a blindsided attack and the things could have gotten worse. Moxley entered like a hero with a barbed wire baseball bat.
Yep.
It is great now. They are pushing it. We have all out whenever. So we are still in speculation mode that what is going to happen at all out with regards to the AEW World Championship. That is it going to be a rematch, as we just said that with regards to Moxley and Cage, or is it going to be a fresh match? MJF, quote unquote, the prodigy versus John Moxley, the reigning champion. We have
I
to see.
think this is I think this is a only a 1 week thing. So after next week, when Moxley is finished with Cage, then we could see the building up process for a match between MJF and Moxley. Because
Mhm.
Brian Cage is it is looking like Brian Cage will be facing Darby Allin at the pay-per-view. So that could be the case.
Then what about Ricky Starks?
If you want to talk about fantasy booking, then we could see something like Moxley takes out Ricky Starks for good, at least for a couple of weeks.
But he has just, you can say, he has just entered the fray of Dynamite just right now. So maybe they have inserted Ricky Starks in the feud for having uh, a match with Darby Allin, maybe, and have a rematch of Brian Cage and John Moxley, so as to, you can say, extend the gap between the match with regards to Darby Allin and Brian Cage. So first, Cage and you can say Moxley can happen, and then we will have the ultimate match of Brian Cage and Darby Allin, which is basically what we were expecting to happen because uh, they won't be, you can say, having Darby Allin losing because he is one of their biggest stars. And having Cage lose another match, it would also lose, or you can say draw, whatever. Having another match with Cage on the losing or the you can say disadvantage side would also be a bad thing. So they would be thinking of something. So let's see what happens.
That's what you call unpredictable booking.
Yes, and that is what is great. Seeing
Yeah.
unpredictable things and having unpredictable scenarios on television, on your programming is what is great. Unlike certain companies or a certain company at Connecticut.
So they announced that we'll be getting a AEW Women's Tag Team tournament in the summer, and I hope it's just a tournament and we don't get them introducing tag team titles for the women because the singles division is yet to be established, and introducing tag team titles is overkill.
Uh, I would little disagree because WWE, with regards to right now, is the whole thing is that basically what might have been the catalyst for this World Cup or whatever the fuck that it is, that WWE is making waves with the Women's Tag Team Championship with Sasha Banks and Bailey. So AEW is thinking that we have a decent roster of women ourselves, whatever you call them, decent or you call them shitty or whatever, but it is not great. It is not great. It is not great at all. So what we can do is something with the women's tag wrestling ourselves. It gives you another avenue for creating and executing interesting stories, storylines, and you can make screen time for more people in less time. And you were saying this, the term green, that maybe Nyla Rose is green or any talent is green, that can also be minimized to showcase when you are in a tag team wrestling scenario. So it is another avenue for them to explore. It can also add to another, you can say, more stories. But the thing is that they have to deliver on it. That would be the thing.
The only thing they have to do is do different. I mean, different booking compared to what WWE did with their women's tag team titles.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Plus,
I
another question: do they have the women to establish that division? If AEW does a tag team women's division,
uh, they would be calling some talents from the independent circuit. They would be. That is
like
why I said the point of decent roster, and I don't. There would be the Nightmare Sisters, the Dollhouse, whatever the fuck, and
yes.
now they also teased something in the match of Diamante and Ivelisse that they also tagged at one point in the independent circuit. Uh, they could also pose as a team in this World Cup, and other talents from the independent circuit could also come for could to compete in this World Cup, as they can come for the Open Challenge for the TNT Championship. They can also compete in this World Cup. As we saw Eddie Kingston, we can also see other people.
So next up, Chris Jericho was being interviewed. He's still mad at Orange Cassidy ruining his $7,000 jacket. He promises he'll take his frustration on Jurassic Express tonight and will make them extinct. So we had a false count anywhere match. Young Bucks versus Butcher and Blade for the AEW 24/7 Championship. So
Fucking young bucks.
the Bucks were the Bucks were the Bucks were looking for Butcher and Blade and found them cutting meat in a kitchen. Butcher and Blade wash their hands and the match begins. Nick Jackson gets slammed on the steel table, which got a 2 count. Matt was attacking both of them with meat. Action goes to the parking lot, so Blade was in a trolley as Butcher tried to slam Nick on the pillar, but nobody was home. The Bucks then double team Butcher and attack him with a cookie sheet. Blade was back. Blade and Butcher then sent Matt inside a production truck while Nick was sent to the steel doors. Matt made a comeback with a big dive, taking both Butcher and Blade out. At one point, the Bucks super kicked Blade near the elevated stairs as he was carried away. Action comes to the ringside until Blade takes out Bucks with a steel chair. Then we see some table spots. Blade missed a dive and the table, while Butcher speared Nick through a table. So Finish saw all four men near the stage. Super kicks to both Butcher and Blade. Um, so the Bucks they climbed up to the entrance tunnel as Butcher and Blade were laid on the table on both sides. The Bucks then simultaneously hit a elbow drop and a senton from the entrance tunnel and went for the pin, a double pin. So it was okay. I didn't care much for this match. What about you?
uh, same here. I didn't care much what was the story behind it, what was happening, why was it happening. The only story that they said that was that it started when FTR made their presence known on AEW television. That was the only thing that was said by Excalibur. The only thing that was said, only thing. There was nothing else that could have made people care. Nothing. They were just fighting one another. The spots on the steel table, as you said,
Hmm.
how did they look brutal at all? I'm asking you.
It looked brutal, but the Young Bucks failed at selling that back injury or whatever, selling that spot.
Anything? Was that anything new? Are they very good at selling?
They can, if it's a high pressure, a high quality match, like the one they had at Revolution, or maybe go back to their New Japan days.
Hmm.
Uh, if it's just a small little situation like this, the selling part, they are weak.
Hmm. They are weak. They are not good, or maybe they just don't care. Maybe that is the
Yeah.
point. That just don't care about wrestling. That why is it happening? It shouldn't look like it is a real fight or something like that. That even a slightest offense hurts. You can take a little bit of the selling part. You can make the other person's offense look like that it has hurt you a bit. Only doing fucking sports. Why would I care if it is not hurting? Anything that happened from the kitchen to the parking lot didn't hurt.
I just remembered this. Matt Jackson was selling his ribs.
It happened once. I know. When Excalibur said that he did that, you can say a swanton from the production truck to the outside
Yes.
on both Butcher and the Blade. It happened for some seconds. That was it. It didn't happen throughout. Selling is that you are taking some time and you are favoring that part of your body which has hurt, and you are taking some time before the next offense maneuver you are about to execute in front of the camera. And then the only thing that I wrote was that Blade missed with the tope con hilo between the ropes. He missed everything. The man and the table. He missed everything. He had to go through the table just like Homicide does with his signature spot. Butcher and the Blade do not need to do aerial flips and flams like Jericho says. They are good with their offense, basically the ground and pound. They are tough SOBs. They do not need to do such shit, basically. Young Bucks won after leaping from 20 feet top of the stage, thinking that it was very, you know, unique, that they haven't done such leaps of faith in the past. It didn't look special. The fact that the same fact I have said before, it didn't look special. Why? Because they have done it time after time in the past. Now it doesn't look special. Now what? They have to go 40 feet. Then it will look special. Now it just looks like, okay, what's new? What is next?
Another thing, we ranted about spot fest matches last week.
Yes.
Um, so the point is, spot fest matches are good if it is in front of real crowd, 20,000
Hmm.
fans in attendance. For
Yes.
example, check out Dijakovic versus Keith Lee from Takeover Portland.
Mm-hmm.
That was a spot fest match, if you want to see say it in simple words. And
Mm-hmm.
what made that match special was the fans. Yeah.
Yes, I can give that to you. It looks special when it is in front of the crowd. All right, I can give that. But the fact is that uh, if you have a story behind it, if you have something that uh, makes people care about that match, it adds to the aesthetic of the said match. Because if you are just doing spot, and you are not selling, basically sell and have a story that adds to that match. Have the spots, no problem. But a little bit of selling, a little bit of story that adds to the whole match. It can add, you can say, these people are marks, So it adds to the stars of your matches.
Mhm.
It can add to the stars of your matches. So spend a little bit of time in your promos or the backstory and spend a little bit of time in the selling that it looks like it is hurting rather than you are doing a sequence which you have learned or you have just mugged up backstage. Please.
So next up, Captain No Charisma Alex Marvez. He tried to interview Lance Archer, but Archer was in no mood. Instead, he pulled Marvez to the locker room and beat down some jobbers, including throwing a poor guy through the roof and putting him in the garbage can. So while this was going on, Jake Roberts was saying that they are pissed off right now, and that was it. I don't know what's next for Lance Archer because it feels like there is no big time feud for him at the present time. The only guy I could think of was Jungle Boy
Mm-hmm.
because Jungle Boy is someone that will get over even in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on Lance Archer and what's next, possibly next for him?
Lance Archer, I also agree with that point that he's directionless right now. That
Hmm.
he needs an opponent, a legit opponent, which can, they both can, lock horns and compete in a competitive bout. And also, he needs TV time. There should also be TV time. You only have 2 hours, and there should also be time with regards to, competing against one another. So there needs to be time. There needs to be a legit feud. Who can step up with him? That who is there, a big guy or a small guy? You are saying Jungle Boy will who is there? Will Luchasaurus step up in the build towards the feud? If you are saying that Jungle Boy should be the next guy who faces him, but the fact is, whoever faces him, he needs to win that match with regards to build legitimacy in his character, that he has something. Because the last we know of him in some big level was that he, I guess, lost. He lost a big match.
To Cody.
Yes. So he needs to build something. So he needs to get a win over some person in a good competitive match, maybe. No problem. Squash matches are there, yes, I agree, but in a good competitive bout, in a good story of sorts. Yes, that helps. But yes, there needs to be time too. You only have 2 hours. You have plethora of talent. They have to think about him because he is a great talent. No doubt about it.
Next up, we had Diamante versus Ivelisse. This went about 6 minutes. Decent showing by both women. Finish saw Diamante with his surprise roll-up pin, which got her the win. We have you just mentioned that these two could be a potential tag team if AEW wants a tag team division, or they can put them in that women's tag team tournament.
Hmm. Yes. Uh, it was. I have heard about heard about these two competitors. I have not seen any of their matches, so I was looking forward to watch this match. I was pretty much, you can say, okay. It was a good match. It was said that Diamante won last night on AEW Dark. She has 1-3 record, and Ivelisse is making her debut. She has been trained by Savio Vega. She is a three-time champion at Shine. She is the current champion. Excalibur told JR, and there was also a tease. Yes, they can be a tag team, and they were basically, you can say, answering the open challenge or answering Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champions, call for all comers for the championship. She was at ringside. She wasn't shown on camera. I don't know why. Maybe she was eating something or she was busy. And in this match, the selling of offense was great.
Mhm.
There was uh, maybe Young Bucks need to take some notes from these two ladies.
Ooh.
And that was that they were going and transitioning between the holds slowly. That the fact that whatever moves they are hitting each other, it is hurting. It was a good wrestling match, and the Spanish, or maybe they are not uh, big fans of being the elite, or else they were speaking in Spanglish. The Spanish trash talk in the midst of the bout between one another was also building up heat between one another. It was looking like that, yes, they are, you can say, building each other up, or you can say, firing each other up to hit one another to fight, basically. And as you said, Diamante defeated via the inside cradle out of nowhere. It was a good match overall.
Plus, AEW needs to sign these two ladies because these two ladies are someone that they can use for a big feud in the future.
Yes, absolutely, they can. Diamante is maybe signed because she has been appearing or dark, or maybe she is not on their full-time contract. Uh, she is still an independent contractor. Whatever the case may be, that yes, they would be good additions to the roster. I agree with you.
So next we had Alan Pie Angels. So he was facing Hangman had a page. Excuse
Before
me.
you start, before you start, we had a poll with we asked on Instagram that will this match last 5 minutes or more than that? Because the fact is, we thought that we do not expect this match to be more than that. That Hangman Page should not be given or be giving this guy more than 5 minutes of his time.
Can you guess how long this match went?
It went more than five, that I know, I guess.
8 minutes and 29 seconds precisely.
Fucking pieces of shit. The fact is that I do not understand that what is their problem. The same problem happened with the Omega and the enhancement talent thing, which happened, which also garnered a controversy.
And this was the same guy. Alan Angels faced Kenny
The
Omega.
same guy. Now he was masked so that it doesn't, come about again. Alright,
Okay.
fuck. Oh.
So, like
Alright.
like I said, this was very similar to the match Alan Angels had with Kenny Omega. Um, in this situation also, Angels got a lot of offense. So Face saw Page hitting the pop-up powerbomb for the win. So the Dark Order was out to scout this match. Post-match, Brody Lee and Colt Cabana joined them. Lee entered the ring. He says he has been impressed with Page's performance, but not impressed with the lack of friends he has. He then offers him a place in the Dark Order and guarantees him he'll never be alone again. Page replies to him. He appreciates the offer, but he isn't ready to join a cult. Lee gets pissed and orders the Dark Order to attack them. So Dark Order attack Page until FTR, followed by Kenny Omega, make the save. FTR then hands Page a beer, and that was it. So as a result, they have booked Omega and Page defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against Evil Uno and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order.
Fact, do they have a thing for this guy, Alan Angels or something? I don't know. The fact is that uh, Hangman Page is their champion, one half of the tag team champion, and they are the thing is that they are also thinking that he would be their main guy, the face of the company in the future, or maybe he is currently. He is being shown with beer and uh, alcohol, kind of like Stone Cold. And the thing is that he is your face of the company or future face of the company, main eventer. He is going up against a member of the faction who is basically maybe a enhancement talent in some shape or form. Why are you giving 8 minutes? It looks like he is a legit person, but you have not build the faction or that said person as such on your programming, either with your promos, either with your in-ring segments or your backstage segments as a threat. Even if your commentators say again and again that, oh my god, Brody Lee, oh my god, Colt Cabana, oh my god, this and that, they are a threat. On one side, you have your TV, and on the other side, I am saying, being the elite, Dark Order doing stupid shit. What the fuck I am seeing? You are showing your crew as a threat, as a dark entity, maybe dark entity or whatever, a villainous group in your television programming, and then on the other side, they are being shown on the YouTube channel from the channel from which your television program has come about. They are there doing comedy, and people are going, oh, so much funny. They are now the stars of this show. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously, Dark Order is doing their comedy skits. It is not basic. It is hurting their character if somebody is seeing the both content. It is hurting their character basically. How will you take them seriously? How? But the fact is, they should get over not in a comedic sense. It should get over based upon the fact that they should hate them, not love them. They should hate them because it is an what is their fucking character? Their fucking character is a evil cult. They do not want the baby faces to join them. So, do you expect that with their comedy skits and uh, shenanigans, when the crowd will be there, they would be cheering. They would be cheering for the baby faces to join their Dark Order. Do you want that? Will that look great, or do you want that? People cheering, or do you
I don't
want that or no?
I don't know. It could be that all these months the Dark Order didn't get over on TV, so they could be experimenting the being the elite rub, just like they did with the rest of the characters for this last 3 4 years.
Let's see. I do not understand because the fact is, it is their character doesn't give them the leverage of being comedy characters on another show, and here on there on this show they are being portrayed as serious dark people who are recruiting people in their group or cult, whatever. It is a mismatch. That is what I am saying.
That's that's the thing. The AEW fan base will get it. If you are an outsider watching this, the points you mentioned, they will also relate to the points you mentioned.
So, do All Elite Wrestling not want outsiders or the casual viewers to tune in your show and build your audience? They only want the the hardcore fans, or you can say they're only their audience who have been invested in their programming. They only want a restricted audience. That is what they're
Co-
going for.
Cody said in an interview months back that he doesn't want to cater to the casual audience that WWE is catering to.
Hmm.
So that could be a thing.
So why can't you make a product which is like a thing that you can say, which is logical and which also draws people to your product, that wrestling is great, I should watch that, even
So there are some
satisfying your current audience and also drawing more viewers even from the outer stratosphere. to your product.
I think that will eventually happen in the coming years, but for now they are catering to the casual audience. The casual,
The
I'm saying casual audience, their core audience.
their core audience. Or
Yes.
mhm, okay.
So let's
And
quickly get into the main event. If you wanted to say something else.
um, the only thing for this match was that Page was joined by FTR last week at the bar during the Elite and Jurassic Express match. So we have FTR maybe drawing a wedge between the two champions, the tag team champions, whilst we build towards a future bout for the tag team titles. And Omega is on the verge of transitioning to the cleaner mode, it seems. And you said with regards to that Dark Order was there scouting. I was also a bit perplexed at the beginning that where is the rest of the members, but they arrived at the start of the commercial break, and Brody offered Page to join, but Page refused. And Brody Lee, the Exalted One, also brought up the issues which plague the relationship of Omega and Page, the problems you mentioned, and FTR saved Page from the ambush of Dark Order. Omega also reached the ring to the aid of his tag team partner, but he happened to reach there last. It is building, it is drawing a wedge between the tag team champions. It is happening. Maybe now they are about to lose their championship soon.
Lot of storytelling in just that alone.
Yes, it is great. It is good storytelling. Unlike
So
some people who are not good at selling and running a YouTube channel.
come on, being the elite has been good lately. Just check out that Gallus and Anderson segment. That was gold.
Yes, that was gold. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Shall we get to the main event?
Yes, the main event, Jurassic Express and the Inner Circle.
So this match went about 17 minutes. So earlier parts of the match, Jericho and Hager were working on the injured leg of Luchasaurus after he was in an ankle lock. Marco Stunt got involved in the match twice. At one point, Santana and Ortiz tried to do the same, but in comes Jungle Boy, Hurricanrana on Santana, sending him crashing on into Ortiz. We
Hmm.
saw who we all assumed was Serpentico. He used the baseball bat on Luchasaurus. Referee didn't see this. Jericho capitalized, hit the code breaker for the win. Post match, Inner Circle beat up Jurassic Express. Serpentico hits a shooting star on Luchasaurus. Serpentico was in the middle, and he removes his mask, and it's the new and improved Sammy Guevara. Best Friends and Orange Cassidy come for the save as Inner Circle retreat. So as a result of this, we are getting a 10-man tag next week on Dynamite. Inner Circle versus Jurassic Express and Best Friends. Thank God, Sammy Guevara is back.
Yes, thank the Almighty. Indeed. Not Bobby Lashley, but yes, Sammy Guevara is back from sensitivity classes. But yes, Sammy Guevara is back. This this match stemmed from the backstage interview, basically, of Jurassic Express, where they made fun of Chris Jericho and the other members of the Inner Circle being doused in orange juice by Orange Cassidy in the center of the ring. They were embarrassed. Jurassic Express basically rubbed salt in their wounds. This was the story. which was the catalyst for this match. Jungle Boy Luchasaurus versus Hager and Jericho. Jungle Boy and Jericho got to a draw last year, and as you said, Hager grabbed Luchasaurus in the ankle lock, and him and Jericho started targeting the bullseye, i.e., the ankle, via repeated kicks and the chop block by Hager. And as always, there was a signature Aubrey spot. She does that with Jericho or other guys. It happens every time. She has to put herself over. Such an attention seeking WH dash. She is also an executive there. This was a joke. This was a joke. Don't take it seriously, please. She is also
Uh,
an exec.
um, if you got New Japan fans watching this, then they are familiar with a referee named Red Shoes Uno. He is
Yes, I
also
know that.
he is also similar to Aubrey Edwards. In a way, he does a better job in being the attention of that match, and he does a great job at that. So that could be
Mhm.
the element.
All right. All right. So she has taken inspiration from Red Shoes.
Yes.
All right.
By the way, there was another. There's a old school referee. I'm not Earl Hebner. Am I right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He is
All
also
happening.
an attention seeker referee in the years. He was in WWF and TNA.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think so that he was such blatant and such, you can say, loud, maybe. If you compare to Girl Hebner or Aubrey Edwards,
Hmm.
wink wink.
Yes.
She is also an executive at All Elite Wrestling LLC. She is doing a podcast, AEW Restricted, with Tony Schiavone on YouTube, and she is at office, yes, and she is getting herself over on television. Maybe she is gunning for an on-screen character as a manager of someone. Maybe it is on the back of her mind. Maybe. And if somebody is on social media and following All Elite Wrestling, maybe I don't know that she is good friends with Dustin Rhodes. Maybe I don't know. Somebody said to me, and
Mhm.
there was an assisted Frankensteiner by Jungle Boy, inside out, as you said, on Santana from the apron to the outside, also wiping out Ortiz. That was fucking beautiful. A masked Sammy Guevara helps with a baseball bat shot without attention seeking Aubrey looking to get the inner circle the victory. Sammy is back from sensitivity classes. Happy to see him. And post match, irrelevant, illogical, coming to the aid are the best friends and Orange Cassidy. It is logical, obviously, to further the feud, but it was too little, too late, as they come to fend off the inner circle. But the fact is that I don't think that it was much of a save, to be honest, as the inner circle had pummeled and beaten the fuck out of Jurassic Express enough to send them to the hospital. They were too late.
Objection, my lord. Objection, my lord.
Yes.
I think best friends took this long to make the save because I think Orange Cassidy wasn't interested, and he I think he was lying somewhere in the floor. Half the time they convinced Cassidy, let's go make the save. So that could be a reason why they were so late to the party.
I give it to you. I give it to you.
Anything else regarding
No,
this match?
uh, no, that's it. I'm happy to see Sammy Guevara back. That's it. And looking forward to seeing that what is in store for the Spanish God. That's it. It was a great,
Hope
it was a great show. Highly good entertainment and happy and very glad to see Eddie Kingston.
so. Before we go, where can these guys find you?
Uh, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Abimaniac, ABBYMANIAC, as always. And I'm working with Wrestle Square. It is a Indian independent wrestling promotion. They have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. They are possibly holding tapings very soon. So stay tuned to season 3 of the YouTube series.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. Our podcast and reviews are mainly audio based, and if you don't want your YouTube app running for that, then you can catch Slamhub Wrestling on Anchor and Spotify as well. So this was the AEW Dynamite review, and we'll see you guys next time.